Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I want to go over my plan for the year with you, and it is my 40 for 40 plan. Now let me explain. In case you'd missed it, I turned 40 on a Saturday just gone. So I have now gone into a brand new part of my life that I'm actually really looking forward to. When I turned 30, it was a slightly different time in my life. I had a fairly new baby, or a toddler, and there were plans for another one. And obviously it was very baby and child related. Didn't really get a lot of time for myself to explore and do things and have adventures. But now that I'm 40 and my children are slightly older, 8 and 11, I've got a little bit more time on my hands, and I can certainly have a lot more fun. So I'm following in the footsteps of my good friend Elspeth, who turned 60 last year. And she undertook a challenge called 60 for 60. And she chose 60 things that she wanted to do in her 60th year. Now, they didn't have to be big things. Some of them were really small. For instance, she'd never eaten a fish finger sandwich. I know, who's not eaten a fish finger sandwich, right? But all of these things she achieved during her 60th year. Now, she decided to document them in a journal or a book. So she's very artistic, so she drew lots of lovely pictures, she scrapbooked, she included tickets, she wrote about her trips, wrote about the things that she did, and she's now got this lovely journal as a document to document her year. I'm not quite so arty or creative, but as you know, I love videoing and I love vlogging. So I thought I would do my 40 for 40 as an online video journal, which means whenever I tick something off my list, I'll do a video about it. So this is the introduction video. This is where I'm going to share with you the 40 things that I want to do in my 40th year. And then as we tick them off, I'll share the journey with you. So these are in no particular order. I will do them as and when throughout the year. Some of them are combined, so I will explain more about that as I come to them. So thing number one, I would like to go punting on the River Cam. So for my English viewers, you'll understand this one. For my American viewers, probably not so. Cambridge is a university city in the UK. It's only about an hour away from where I live, and it has a river that runs through it. And the people of Cambridge, and particularly the university students, like to go punting. Now I'll try and put a picture up here if I can. A punt is a little bit like a gondola. So where you go on a gondola in Venice, you go punting on the River Cam. Now it's notorious for hiring a punt with your friends, drinking too much Pimm's and falling in the river. And I hope I won't fall in the river, but I do plan on drinking Pimm's, and I do plan on doing it with friends. Number two, I would very much like to go to the ballet. I have never been to the ballet. I think I'll probably save this one for Christmas time, and I will take Izzy and go and see the Nutcracker. Number three, I want to ride the Orbit at the Olympic Park. And again, if you're in the UK, you'll know what that is. If you're in the US, when we hosted the Olympics in the UK a few years ago, we built a sculpture called the Orbit, and I'll put a picture of it up here. Now the Orbit has been turned into somewhat of a fun activity destination now that it's no longer needed as a sculpture, and they've put an awesome curly whirly slide all the way from the top to the bottom. You can also abseil off the top of it at certain times of the year as well. So you can buy tickets to ride the Orbit. It's something that I said I wanted to do earlier on last year, and so I'm very fortunate that my lovely friend Tade has bought me 2 tickets to ride the Orbit for my birthday. So I can cash those in at any point during the year, and that's exactly what I plan to do. I'm probably going to go with Mr. Mac. I'm not going to be able to film a great deal. Unfortunately, you can't film as you go down the slides unless you have a special license and special body attachments with GoPro cameras and all sorts. But I'm hoping that you will at least be able to see me shoot at the end if I can get Stuart to film it for me. Number 4 is I would very much like to go to Go Ape. Go Ape is basically one of those tree climbing things. I've done it before. In fact, I'll put a card up here. I did a vlog with the family earlier on in the year. This was just at one of my local centres though, and Go Ape is a much bigger, more, I don't say more organised, but a bigger chain, and it's certainly newer and shinier and funkier, and it's lots and lots of fun. So I like to hook myself up to a carabiner and chuck myself down the occasional zip wire. Again, something for the summer, I think. I don't really want to be doing it in the cold and wet. Number 5, I would like to go to the opera. Again, I've never been to the opera, so this is something I think I should try. I am a particular fan of the musical Rent. I have seen it many, many, many times. And Rent is based on the opera La Boheme. So I think that the opera that I should go and see is La Boheme. So if you know of any performances of La Boheme coming up in 2019, please do let me know, because I'd like to book tickets. Number 6, I would like to go for dinner or drinks, either's fine, in the Shard. Again, another lovely building in the city of London. I've never been there. There is a gorgeous hotel in there as well, but I do know that they do a bargain £25 lunch, as well as lots and lots of special offers. So I'm going to be looking out for maybe a Groupon deal or something like that, so I can go to the Shard either for some dinner or just for drinks is fine, but it's just something I'd like to do. I'll probably do that with some of my girlfriends who work in the city. Number 7 is afternoon tea at Fortnum & Mason's. This is a bit of a UK institution. Fortnum & Mason's is a beautiful delicatessen stroke food shop in London. It's incredibly famous, and they have a lovely cafe there where they do afternoon tea served on the most beautiful blue china. I'll try and pop a picture up here. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I think this is something that I'd like to do with my mum. Number 8 is something crafty. I'm determined that this year is the year that I'm going to knit my first Fair Isle garment. And I've decided that the garment that I'm going to make is the Truly Hooked Boy Who Lived jumper. It looks relatively simple. I've done quite a lot of Verities patterns before and I've found them fairly easy to follow. And I've already got my yarn pack. I had Verity custom dye it for me. I own the yarn, I own the pattern, I know the owner of the company, I've spoken to her about the jumper, I have absolutely no excuse. I have a year. Number 9, I'd like to spend the day at Westfield in West London. Westfield is a ginormous shopping centre in West London, and it's where I park my car when I go to the Goldhawk Road. But every time we walk through the shopping centre on our way to the Goldhawk Road, I look at all the lovely shops and I say, I really must come back here and go shopping one day. And I never do, because I always end up in the Goldhawk Road. So this time I'm going to go to Westfield. I'll go by train, I think, rather than car, and then I can spend the day doing lots of lovely shopping and have a nice meal and something to drink at the end of it. Again, this is something I think I'm probably going to do with Elspeth, because she's always with me when we go to the Goldhawk Road and she always says exactly the same thing. Number 10 is slightly zany. I would like to go on a proper circus trapeze. You know, the really big ones where you swing and then you jump and you get caught by someone on the opposite trapeze. Now, I've done my research and there is a place called the Gorilla Circus in London, and they're open throughout the summer in various parks across London. And you can go for a 2-hour lesson and you can do a swing and catch. So that's my plan. I would imagine that one will make for a pretty good vlog. Number 11, my favourite cocktail is an amaretto sour. So I'm determined to learn how to make the perfect amaretto sour this year. Now, I'm not just going to slave over the cocktail books and try and do it at home. I'm going to try and bribe a mixologist at some point when we're either on holiday or in a fancy bar somewhere to teach me how to make it properly. Number 12 is a little bit of a luxury. I have always wanted to own a classic black pair of Louboutin shoes. High-heeled stilettos with the red bottoms. I know, not the best thing in the world to want, but I have always wanted a pair. So by the end of 2019, I will own a pair of Louboutin shoes. You heard it here first. 13, 14, 15 and 16 are all the same things. I want to have a special day one-to-one with Tom, with Izzy, with my mum and with my dad. So 4 special people, 4 special days. And I will probably incorporate one of my other 40 for 40s into that. For instance, if I go to see the Nutcracker, I will probably go with Izzy. If I go to Fortnum & Mason's, I'll go with my mum. And I've got things that I'd like to do with Tom and also with my dad as well. Number 17, I want to learn to play a song on my ukulele. I was bought a ukulele for Christmas last year, full of grand plans. No, not Christmas last year, Christmas 2017, full of grand plans to learn how to play it, and it has sat by my desk for the last year and a bit. So this year I am going to learn to play a song on my ukulele. Number 18, I want to go and see a West End show. It's been a long time since I've been up to London to see a show, so I don't really know what I want to see at this stage, but I will go and see something in London at some point this year. Number 19, I want to find a secret paddling spot. I love a good paddle, and we don't seem to have anywhere around here which is just shallow water, maybe running, not the sea, just a really lovely little river or stream that's clear, that you can just dabble your toes into and get into nice and easily. You haven't got to climb down a big riverbank or something like that. Just somewhere really idyllic and perfect for paddling my feet. Now, I have a friend who has a secret paddling spot here in Essex. She won't tell me where it is though, but I'm determined that this year I'm going to find it. I know roughly the vicinity, and if it means I have to go there and hang out for an entire day and walk for miles, I will find this paddling spot. Number 20, I'd like to see some Shakespeare, and ideally I'd like to see some Shakespeare at the Globe because I've never been. This is probably the thing I'll do with my dad. Number 21, I want to row a boat. I used to go rowing a lot when I was a child. My granddad used to take me all over the place, and I haven't rown a boat for absolutely ages. We've got some really good places that we can do it. We're not too far away from Suffolk, and we've got Dedham up in on the Suffolk borders, which is a really lovely place to go and row a boat. Alternatively, there is actually a really nice lake on the kind of East London Havering borders called Fairlock Waters, and they also hire rowing boats there, but I think I'd prefer to go to Dedham. You can couple that one with a nice family Sunday day out and a nice pub lunch. And now it would appear my battery has decided it wants to run out. So I'm going to see how far I can get, then I'm going to have to come back to you in a couple of days with the rest of it, because the other battery and the charger is at work. Best laid plans and all that. So number 22, I would like to go paddle boarding. It's something that I tried last year in Mallorca. I tried to do it with Tom. He didn't really have the dexterity for it. Ended up not doing quite so well, and we just turned around and went back to the start. So I'm going to try it again, this time on my own. Number 23, I'd like to spend a day on a boat, drinking and eating and generally having a nice time. I don't know where and when I'm going to do it. I suspect on one of my holidays, so I can enjoy a little bit of sunshine too. Number 24, I'd like to go crabbing. Crabbing is lots of fun. It's something us Brits love to do on our holidays here in the UK. I don't know about anybody else, whether they do it in other countries. I know in Australia you do yabbying, which is very similar. Basically, throwing a line into the sea or any kind of salty water with a bit of bacon on the end of it, catching a crab, popping him in a bucket, letting him swim around for a little while, spend an hour or so doing it, and then tip them all back. Completely pointless, but just nice and fun and relaxing. So I've just remembered Izzy has my old vlogging camera here. So I'm going to use that and see how it goes. But if it looks a bit grainy or a bit dark, That's probably why, because I do remember this camera was never particularly great. For those of you who are interested, I use the G7X Mark II, which is kind of a standard vlogging camera most people tend to use, and this one is the Samsung NX Mini, which was my very first vlogging camera. So let's see how we go. Where did we get to? So we got to crabbing, didn't we? Number 25, I want to eat fresh seafood at Mersey Island. Mersey Island is a little island to the east of Essex. It's incredibly tiny. You can drive across it in about 10 minutes, and it's not far from here. It's about 45 minutes to an hour's drive. They have a really lovely seafood shack on Mersey Island, which I've never been to before, and it's somewhere that I would like to go. Elspeth has been before. She would like to take me, so we'll be doing that in the summer. So we'll probably go crabbing, I would imagine, at the same time, so we can kind of combine those two, and we might even combine them with the next thing on my list, which is to spend a day in a beach hut. Mersey Island has loads of beach huts that you can hire, and they're really nice to just sit in on a big deck chair, have a lazy day, drink lots of tea, go crabbing and eat seafood. Number 27, I want to stay at the Ned. Now the Ned is a lovely hotel in London, in the city. It used to be the old Midland Bank building, and then a couple of years ago it was all completely and utterly renovated and turned into a beautiful boutique hotel. Still with all its original features of the bank. It has an amazing vault that you can go down into, which is now a fantastic cocktail bar. It has a spa and a swimming pool. Absolutely beautiful hotel, and it's all themed in the 1920s themed. All of the rooms have got gorgeous vintage furniture in them, but they all have a really nice modern touch. For instance, the bathrooms are absolutely stunning, but they have, you know, the rainfall showers and everything else. So I'd like to go and stay at the Ned. In fact, by the time you see this, I may well have already stayed at the Ned, because it is something that I plan to do in the next couple of days with my good friends Robin Tade and Mr. Mac. So I will have already ticked off number 1, but there'll be a video coming shortly. Number 28, I would like to do an indoor skydive, probably with Mr. Mac. You know those ones where you put on the big boiler suit, you stand in the tiny little room with a fan, and then it fills you all up and you float like this? Yeah, that. Quite fancy doing that. Looks like lots of fun. Number 29, I want to drive a golf cart. I know, really boring, but I've been in golf carts before. Lots and lots of fun. We are going to stay in a resort hotel at Easter, and it does have a big golf course. So I'm hoping I might be able to talk to someone there and get myself into a golf cart. Number 30, I want to visit a traditional Spanish market. This is going to be an easy one to tick off. I am going to Mallorca again in the summer with my mum and dad and the kids, and we've already planned to go and visit one of the largest markets in Spain. Number 31 is another really big treat, but it is something that I know that I can tick off my list. I would like to fly business class on a long haul flight. It is already booked. I'm very excited, but it is, again, a really nice treat. Number 32, I want to go outlet shopping in the States. I absolutely love outlet shopping. I went in Orlando last year, and I'm going to the States twice in 2019, so the opportunity will definitely arise. I will probably do a haul this time because it's something that I didn't do last time, and tell you exactly what I bought and how much cheaper everything is compared to the UK. 33 and 34 are both going to be achievable at Christmas in 2019. We are off to Australia to visit Mr. Mac's mum and dad. They're not Australian, they're English, they just live there. I get asked that a lot. And there are 2 things that I would really like to do. We've never been to Ayers Rock before, so we're hoping to go for a couple of nights and leave the kids with Grandma and Grandpa. And I really want to go for dinner in my favourite restaurant. For those of you who watch MasterChef Australia, you will know George Columbaris. He has lots of different restaurants in Melbourne, but one of the ones that he owns is a restaurant called Ghazi, and it is absolutely lovely. We ate there about 4 years ago. We had the most amazing degustation meal. I think it was about $60 for about 9 courses. It was ridiculously cheap. but it was absolutely delicious and I've been desperate to go back there ever since. So we will be going for a meal in Ghazi. Number 35, I'd like to go on a champagne picnic. Don't care where, don't care when. Something that will happen no doubt throughout the year. Number 36 is going to be easily achieved and is really simple. I'd just like to have a swim in the sea. I don't go in the sea very often, certainly not here in the UK. It's absolutely freezing and polluted and disgusting. But I've got Mallorca. Most probably I'll end up being there. Otherwise, I'll definitely go in the sea in Australia if I don't get eaten by a shark. Number 37, I want to go on a pedalo. I don't actually think I've ever been on one. Just in case you don't know what a pedalo is, it's one of these things. So you basically float around on the sea and pedal your feet and around you go. There are pedalos that have big slides on the back of them which could be fun and could get me in the sea at the same time and make me swim. We'll see. Number 38. Now, I do not condone guns. I'm just saying this here. I don't like guns, they're evil, they're killing machines, and I really don't like them. However, I have never shot one, and I would like to shoot one. I don't know why, I just would. Mr. Mac has been to various rifle ranges and shooting ranges when he's been in the States, on both business and pleasure, and he said that this year he will take me. So I'm going to go to a rifle range. I want to shoot a gun. I don't really know what sort of gun. We'll see how the mood takes me, but I do really want a pair of pink ear defenders, so it will have to be somewhere that I can wear those. Number 39 is crafty again. I'm determined that this is going to be the year of the jeans. I have had on my make 9 for the last 2 years to make a pair of jeans and I never have. However, this year I am booked onto a ginger jeans making class with Charlotte Newbury from the Sewing Bee. Charlotte's coming to my studio to teach, so I have absolutely no way of running away, backing out or getting out of it. This year I will make a pair of jeans. Now the last one, my number 40, is to throw a big party, and that's exactly what I'm doing at the end of this month. So lots of you have been commenting on my Instagram and my Facebook, my actual birthday, to say, where's the dress, Claire? We haven't seen your 40 for 40 frock. That is because my 40 for 40 frock is going to be worn at my birthday party, which is at the end of January. So I'm throwing a big party for all my friends, all my family, all my clients. There will be cheesy dancing, there will be bubbles, and there will be lots of nice food. It's going to be good fun, just a good classic birthday party. So that is my 40 things for my 40th year, or my 40 for 40. So I hope you're going to enjoy watching me tick them off my list one by one, or sometimes 2 or 3 things at a time. I'd be really interested to know if any of you have done anything similar for your birthdays, or whether you've got bucket lists that you want to complete. And if you have, I would urge you, document it somewhere. If you put it down in writing or in video, then you're far more likely to make it happen. So thank you for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post 2 to 3 times weekly, and there's always something of interest, whether you're crafty or not crafty. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all again soon.